Hi guys. So we're going to keep talking, we're going to keep moving forward, I guess I should say, in science. So we've talked about inherited traits and instincts. So remember, inherited traits are things that you get passed down from your parents that you have no control over. So your hair color, your eye color, your skin color, how tall or how short you are, whether you have curly hair or straight hair. It's the things that you get from your parents that you just don't have any control over. And then our instincts are anything that we're able to do on day one. So first day of your life, no one has to teach you how to blink. Nobody has to teach you how to breathe. Nobody has to teach you how to swallow, or nobody has to teach you how to let your body get rid of your waste through going to the bathroom or sweating. It's just things that your body naturally can do on its own. Nobody teaches you how to do those things. So we've talked about inherited traits. We've talked about instincts, and now and we've also talked about learned behaviors. Almost forgot about those. Learned behaviors, just to recap, is literally anything that you are not able to do on the very first day of your life. It's something that somebody had to teach you. How to talk using words correctly in sentences. How to hold a pencil. How to put your shirt on correctly, how to open the door, how to tie your shoe, how to ride a bike, make a PB&J sandwich, chew with your mouth closed, like anything you just can't do on the very first day of your life. So moving on with those things, the next thing that we have to talk about is the word adaptations. Okay, so I'm in my science notebook. I'm going to turn this around, and right now I'm just going to give myself a heading that just says the word adaptations. So remember, if I am writing too fast, you can pause me. And whenever you're ready, you unpause me. That's not what I want. Hold on. I'm trying to Google something and do this at the same time. Okay, so the big thing here, I want to write one sentence underneath this that we're going to focus on for just a little bit before we actually get to the rest of our notes. So underneath where we have the heading that says adaptations, I have one bullet point. I'm going to write the sentence that says an adaptation is a trait that helps a living thing survive. Okay, an adaptation is a trait that helps a living thing survive. So what I really want you to understand is just the physical word adaptations. If you look here, where's my red pen? The first part of the word adaptations is the word adapt. So what I was trying to Google while I was having you write that down is just the word adapt. So it says make something suitable for a new use or purpose, or to modify. But if you see down here, these are synonyms, words that mean the same thing. Modify, alter, which means change. There's the words change or adjust. Adaptations means that you have realized that you need something else. It's not working the way that it's going. You need to change something about the way that you're living or the way that you're doing something to help you survive in the environment that you're put into. So over time, humans have adapted to survive in our environment. Okay, we don't live like cavemen do. If you've ever seen, there's a movie, The Croods, where it's like the cavemen and they literally live in a cave and, you know, they don't wear shoes on their feet. We've obviously adapted or changed significantly over time to, we get dressed every single day. We take a shower every single day. We don't go to the bathroom in holes in the ground anymore. Okay, so like we have changed over time to survive in the environment that we're in. A really long time ago, humans only used to live like 50, 60 years tops. And people are significantly surpassing that age range because our human race is adapting and changing with the times, and we're able to survive for longer because we're changing the way that we're doing things. So we're not really going to focus so much on humans because it's easy to see, we don't live in caves anymore. We have, safer cars that we drive in. We're not riding around in, horse and buggy anymore. We don't have to walk everywhere. It's easier to see that. What I really would like to focus on is animals. We're going to focus on adaptations of animals because animals are not easily able to change their whole environment, but they do have certain things that they were born with that helps them survive in their environment. So that's what I really want to focus on. If this is a sentence that we have, I'm actually going to take a highlighter. I'm going to highlight this entire sentence. Oops, now I'm underlining it. There we go. An adaptation is a trait that helps a living thing survive. But the big focus here is the word survive, because survive means that you can, mate, you can produce new life, you're not dying, you're going to keep producing life, and you're going to keep being successful in the environment that you're put into. So what I would like to do, I'm going to try to make I don't want to say like a family tree, but that's kind of what it's going to look like in our notes here. So I'll skip a line or two. And then in the middle, towards the middle of my page, one more time, I'm going to write the word adaptations. Now, there are 3 major groups of adaptations. Let's see how we want to do this. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. That's okay, but let's just do this. We'll say that this is the first type of group. I was going to make a tree, but I don't think I'm going to have enough room to write on this side, this side, this side. So we're just going to say that this is the first type of adaptation, and then we'll do the second, and then we'll do the third. So the first type of adaptations are physical adaptations. So these would be physical traits, or the way that the animal, because we're talking about animals, the way that the animals look that help them survive in their environments. Because remember, physical traits would be like your hair color, your eye color, your skin color, the way that somebody could look at you and describe the way that you look. So animals look a certain way or have certain things about them for a reason. So let's look at physical adaptations. And remember, we're only really going to focus here on animals. If an animal has horns, okay, that's not by mistake. If an animal has horns, it's for a reason. It's to use those horns as a means of protection for themselves. Because remember, adaptations, the whole purpose is to survive, to live, and to grow, and to produce in your environment. So horns are there for protection. Fish have fins, which help propel them through the water as they swim. That's not an accident. That's an adaptation that that organism has so that it's able to survive in the environment that it's in. Okay? Some animals, like a turtle or like a snail, they have hard outer shells, and they use those hard outer shells as a means of protection. Okay? Camouflage. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I think I spelled it right. Camouflage. Yes. Okay, good. Camouflage means that you can literally hide in your surroundings. So let's see. I'm going to show you my computer screen. I'm going to type in camouflage. I want to see if we can see any cool pictures because I have one video. Oh, it's just showing me army camo. That's awful. Let's see, animal camouflage. I do have one video that I definitely want to show you. It's really cool. But okay, let's see. Like here, this is a great example of camouflage. It's like I don't know, I would say a gecko. I'm sure it's like some type of lizard that I don't know the actual name for. That's my finger, sorry. But you can see it's laying on a log, but it is used as this is for camouflage, so that it can blend into its environment. But the whole reason that animals would want to blend into their environment is because they don't want predators, something that would eat them, to see them and find them. So they lay low and they blend into their surroundings so that they don't get eaten. Here's another thing. It's like this animal literally looks like it's a leaf. Okay, it's not. It's an animal, but it is able to camouflage itself so that predators, things that would eat it, won't eat it. This one's kind of hard to see here, but this is the two eyes and a head or a mouth of something. You can see there's like a little paw here, and here's its body, but it is on a tree camouflaging itself so that it doesn't get eaten by predators. But here's the thing. Certain animals can camouflage themselves, not so that they don't get eaten, so that they can better hide to jump out and they can attack prey so that the prey doesn't see it. So predator means it's going to eat something. Prey is what gets eaten. So like when you think about a lion, you don't really think about anything that's eating the lion. You think about what the lion is going to eat. But lions they're like a nice tan color, and they hide in the tall grasses, okay? But they crouch down really low and they try to camouflage or hide themselves in that tall grass that they live in, so that not so that they don't get eaten, but so that they can hide, and when some prey, poor little animal, comes along, they can jump out and get it. That's its job. But these are all adaptations. So this camouflage adaptation, it's super cool. And I'll post videos because this one is like, I think this one you guys will like. I'll post other camouflage videos for you guys to see. But it's a physical adaptation, something that the animal can physically is able to do that can allow it to survive in the environment that it's in. Okay. Flowers. I know we're going to talk about animals, but I'm even going to write, let's put bright colored flowers. Okay. A reason that plants would have bright colored flowers is that so insects want to go to that flower. It draws them in and they go there for pollination, because the first step of pollination is an insect visits a plant. You know, the little flower goes, or the little bee goes buzzing around the flower, picks up some pollen, goes to another flower, drops some pollen off, picks up more pollen. But those bright colored flowers is a plant's adaptation so that it survives, because as soon as that insect picks up that pollen and takes it somewhere else, it's going to help spread that plant around as it survives and grows and, you know, in its environment that it's in. So just, I don't actually want to go too much longer on this, but let's see. Okay, physical adaptations. Things like horns, fins. If an animal for some reason, you know, has like spikes or something, if the animal has like the pads of an animal's feet, like if you've seen your dog, okay, like a dog or cat, they have pads on the bottom of their feet. It's like the rough spot on the bottom of their feet, but they obviously aren't wearing shoes outside. So if they go and they, you know, step on the hot sidewalk or driveway or street, or there's something in your grass, it's to help protect them. That's all about survival, you guys. So I'm actually going to add that one. I'm going to put pads on an animal's feet. Let me see if I can quickly show it to you. Let's see. Oops. There we go. Pads on, let's just say pads on a dog's paw. Perfect. Okay. Images. It's these parts, like the black part, the hard part. And if you have a dog or a cat, you feel the bottom of their feet. Most of the time, these pads, they're not like soft to the touch. They're hard. They're like look like they need maybe some lotion put on them, but they're hard for a reason. They're hard so that if they step on something sharp or they step on the hot sidewalk or the hot driveway, it's not going to burn or scorch the bottom of their feet. It's there for a reason, and that reason is to help that animal survive in the environment that it's in. So physical adaptations of animals or even plants is to help that thing survive. So if that's the first group or the first type of adaptation, then the second type of adaptation is technically called behavioral, but I'm going to write down behavior instincts. So remember, an instinct is something that you don't have to think about. It's something that you're able to do on day one of your life. So if an animal has a behavior instinct, that means it has a certain way of acting that helps it survive in its environment. So I'm going to list some things down here for behavior instincts because that's an adaptation. Okay, animals that live in herds. Elephants live in herds. Zebras live in herds. Let's see if we can just Google a picture of herds so I can show it to you really quick. Oops, it would help if I could spell. There we go. It's just like literally groups of animals that live together. Like here, it looks like these are like sheep. These are cows that live together. I don't want to missay what this is, but I have no idea. Okay, like these are wild horses that live together. More horses, some sheep, like bison. Okay, herding means that the animal lives together in a group. So elephants stick together, zebras I know stick together, giraffes will stick together, but they stick together because they help each other out. They help warn each other if a predator is around. They help each other if there is already a predator. They help like keep the predator out, especially from the babies. All the adult animals will surround the babies because, you know, it's a lot easier for a lion to take a little baby animal instead of like the big one. So the adults help keep the little animals safe. But living in herds is a behavior instinct. Nobody goes up to the giraffes and is like, hey, you guys should probably, you know, really stick together. I think it'd be smart if you guys really stuck together in a group. They just automatically stay with what they know. But living in herds is a behavior instinct. And because these animals live in herds, they're better able to survive. And being able to survive is what adaptations is all about. So living in herds is a behavior instinct. There is something that's called socializing, and what we know as socializing is getting out and talking to people. But if you think about it, that's really what monkeys do. When monkeys socialize, if you've ever seen the videos where like monkeys will groom each other, which means they'll like pick bugs, which sounds gross, but they'll like pick bugs out of each other's fur. They just like keep each other well groomed. That's socializing. Monkeys also, especially if it's cold, they sleep in a pile on top of each other to like try to keep all that warmth inside of the pile. But that's another way that they survive, because if for some reason they have an insect that's like, you know, in their fur or like gets in and makes them sick, then they'll die off. If it's too cold and they don't huddle together for body heat, then they could freeze to death. So all these things that these animals do, it's not on accident. Everything that they do is very deliberate. Everything that they do is to help their species survive. So we have living in herds and socializing. Okay, that's what monkeys do. Like spider, I'll put setting a trap. Okay, spider webs. We'll put in parentheses, spiders, webs. Remember, if I'm writing too fast, pause me, okay? I'm sorry. But spiders, when they make their webs, it is a trap. Its whole purpose of a spider web is for insects to fly through the web and get stuck there so that the spider has something to eat. That's the whole purpose. But nobody teaches a spider how to make a spider web. There's no class for the spider to go to. There's no like master spider teacher teaching them how to do things. It's an instinct that they're born with. but it's an instinct that helps them survive because it allows them to get food for themselves. Let's put, well, no, it's fine. I'm going to write down, and we've talked about hibernation, like bears go into hibernation through the winter months. Okay. There's something that's called mimicry. And octopus are really good at mimicry. And what mimicry means, oh, where's my red pen? I want to underline the word mimic here. It means that they can literally copy other animals' behaviors. So an octopus is super good at mimicry because if it wants to lurk up on some prey, it's going to watch how the prey behaves and it's going to mimic or copy that behavior so that those other animals that it's preying on, they don't think of it as a threat because it's acting the same way that they're acting. And then when the octopus gets close enough to what it wants, then it lashes out and takes its food. But mimicry is a behavioral instinct that the octopus has learned how to do so that it can find itself the food that it wants. But again, no one's teaching it how to behave that way. It just does what it needs to do in order to survive in the environment that it's in. I only want to write a couple more things down here. Actually, I want to write maybe one more. Animals that can retreat into their shells for protection. Like if you think about a turtle, let's see if we can fit the word turtle here. We can, good. Okay. So remember, if you need to pause me, pause me. And this is all we're going to write for the second group of adaptations. But retreating into an animal shell like turtles, if you startle them or they get scared, their whole body will retreat into their shell. The head goes in, both arms, both legs, they go inside the shell, but the shell is there for protection. So them retreating into their shell, it's a behavioral instinct. So no one's teaching them how to do it, but they do it so that they can survive in their environment. So we have physical adaptations. We have behavior instincts, the way that they behave. And then the third thing, we'll skip 2 lines and then we'll put a 3 here. The third group of adaptations that I want to look at are called, well, I'm going to call them body instincts. So these are things that an animal's body is able to do in order to help that animal survive in the environment that it's put into. So something that we just talked about when we were going through animal classifications, a big thing for mammals is that all mammals are able, well, the female, the girl, is able to produce milk to feed the young. No one's teaching them how to do that. No one's telling, a female dog that's just had a bunch of puppies, hey, you need to make milk because your puppies need to eat something. Their body just automatically takes care of that. So, but that's a bodily instinct. And it helps those little puppies survive. So I'm going to write down mammals. Oops. You guys, it would be good if I could write correctly. Okay, and then I'm going to put equals female, which is the girl, okay, produces milk for young. And remember, the young are the babies, whether it's a little human baby, if it's a puppy, a kitten, if it's a little calf, it doesn't matter. All mammals, the females will produce milk to feed the young. But the same way that this happens is the same way that snakes produce venom. Okay, or like certain animals can produce mucus so that their skin doesn't dry out, doesn't like crack, they can keep moving along fine. All those things are body instincts. No one's teaching a snake how to make venom to paralyze its prey so that it can eat it. No one's teaching snails how to create mucus so that their skin doesn't dry out and they can grossly move along the pavement. It just happens. And it happens so that that animal can keep surviving. Because remember, the whole purpose of an instinct is to help a living thing survive in the environment that it's in. So we have body instincts. For mammals, a female produces milk for its young. Let's put producing poison or venom. Okay, and if you need to think about it, that would be like for a snake. Okay, certain animals can produce mucus. Camels can store water. In their humps. Okay, if you've ever seen, well, let's just do this. Oh no, why is it so blurry? There we go. If you need to pause me, pause me. But let's say, sorry, camels. Images. Okay, so the whole purpose of these humps on a camel's back, whether it's like one hump or two humps, whatever it is, like this one has one hump here, this one has one hump here. The whole purpose